So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very, very happy to have you all back. Ladies and gentlemen, as I speak to you, there's a big drama show currently going on in Senegal. And a lot of people are talking about it because this is a situation of interest because of the stakes involved. A lot of people are calling it a geopolitical chaos in Senegal because this has everything to do with the future of Senegal as a country. Now let's get into it, families. And you need to see what has just happened in Senegal because we're starting with a situation where a parliamentary member was physically wrestled out of the parliamentary building by armed security forces in 2026. A lot of people are saying that this is an abuse of power. A lot of people are already calling Ousmane Sonko a dictator. But let's come to analyze what is currently going on in Senegal. And I want you to be the judge. If Ousmane Sonko is a dictator or not, we need to have this conversation. You know, on the Android War Room, we are only geopolitical over here. So let's get into it. A parliamentary member was kicked out. A pro Diomaye Bassirou Faye parliamentary member that was chanting rhetorics that was in support of Bassirou Diomaye Faye and was going against the constitutional amendment that was going on in the House, spearheaded by Ousmane Sonko the Great. Now, me saying Ousmane Sonko the Great, people should not see it as maybe I'm pro Sonko. No, we are just trying to analyze something here. Because let me categorically break it down for you so that you understand. Ousmane Sonko is an anti-imperial. I'm framing it just exactly the way the West call him. They say Ousmane Sonko is an anti-imperial radical. That was how they call him. And they say Bassirou Diomaye Faye, who is the president of Senegal, they said he is the pro-Western individual. All right? So let's talk about this very well. After the parliamentary member that was representing Diomaye Faye, that was trying to throw chaos all around, was pushed out of the parliament, there were some protesters that were protesting against the new resolution. And while they were protesting, the police came to the rescue of the whole situation that was already getting into a quagmire. They were firing tear gas at the protesters just to stop the chaos. All right? Outside the parliamentary building. And ladies and gentlemen, the reason why this old Tozi Tasusko ante was going on was because of two men. These are not just president and head of parliament or former prime minister. These were two prison mates. Yes, Ousmane Sonko and Bassirou Diomaye, they were former prisoners. They were both ex-convicts under the previous government of Senegal. They were cellmates. Prison mates. Let me put it accurate. They were prison mates because they were thrown in prison because of their geopolitical perspective at the time. But you see, one person's geopolitical beliefs at that time was original. And the other guy, in my opinion, who is Bassirou Diomaye Faye, was just, maybe riding the wave. You know, if you want to know the true identity of a man, you give him power. Then you see what the man is like. And don't forget, Bassirou Diomaye Faye removed Ousmane Sonko from the prime minister because Ousmane Sonko was against the radical borrowing methodology of the president of Senegal in Bassirou Diomaye Faye. Ousmane Sonko was against it. Because if they continued that way, the children of the Senegalese were going to be repaying the debt. And you know the people that love it when your country borrows loan time after time again, the IMF, they are going to be jumping because it's their time to shine. But Sonko was not going to have it. And what did Bassirou Diomaye Faye do? He told Sonko to step down. He removed him from the prime minister position. And Sonko, luckily, because if you look at the number of PASTEF members in the House, I think out of 163, they have about 130. That is an absolute domination of the House. He became the parliamentary president. And this is a big problem, ladies and gentlemen. Now, a lot of people are saying that these two men are about to take the political system of Senegal down with them because of their feud. But that is not the issue. I want to give you a clear picture because a lot of people are painting this as if it is a bitter feud between two friends. No, don't let anybody rock you to sleep. What is going on in Senegal right now is anti-imperialism against imperialism. And there are two spearheads. The president represents the imperialist network because he has been very proximal to France. And Sonko is the Pan-African anti-imperialist, spearhead in Senegal. I know that now that I've said this, a lot of people are going to be like, all right, Andre started. All right, let me make this clear. This isn't just Senegal's story, all right? This is a West African story. And if you care about sovereignty, if you care about the future of AES, because Senegal is very connected to Mali, and a lot of people are anticipating a lot of geopolitical collaboration in the future between Senegal and the AES. Senegal is still an ECOWAS member and all of that. If sovereignty means anything to you, you need to understand what is happening right now in Senegal. Now, let's go back 2 years ago. Senegal held a presidential election, and the two men standing at the center of it was Bassirou Diomaye Faye and Ousmane Sonko, all right? And these are not just political allies, all right? They were cellmates. They were imprisoned together by the previous government of Senegal, and they fought the system together, the corrupt system that almost destroyed Senegal. They fought the system together. And their campaign slogan was literally SDDS. Do you know what that means? Sonko is Diomaye and Diomaye is Sonko. That was the proximity between these two men. Sonko is Diomaye and Diomaye is Sonko. They were so inseparable. You see, the bond between these guys, some people see them as siblings. It was impregnable. But what do we have now? Now, they won the election. Sonko became the prime minister. Diomaye Faye became the president. Now, some people said Sonko should have been the president. But it felt like, all right, let me give it to my friend, but I'm going to be behind the scene and I'm going to make sure everything that Bassirou is going to do is better hotel. Now, you see, their party, PASTEF, was dominating. Everybody loved what was going on. PASTEF held 130 out of 165 seats in the National Assembly. And that's absolute dominance. Now, fast forward to May 2026, the alliance broke down between Bassirou Diomaye Faye and Ousmane Sonko because President Bassirou Diomaye Faye fired his best friend, his brother, Ousmane Sonko, as prime minister, all right? Now, that was the breaking point. A massive fight over how to handle Senegal's debt crisis, and that was what even caused the problem in the first place. Now, Sonko was openly criticizing Diomaye Faye's economic management, which was obvious at the time, because he was advising him behind the scene. Diomaye Faye was moving towards the direction of the imperialism because he was, Faye is seen by so many as a puppet of France. So Sonko had no other option than to let the people know. At this point, we have to make it obvious. Because according to the information we have, even the week that Bassirou became president, they started having issues. You see, we can't deny something about Sonko. Sonko is like Ibrahim Traore. In fact, before, when I hear the name Sonko and I see his video, I used to think he was a Malian. because I can see that brutal, very, very no-nonsense Malian style in him. But don't forget, Mali and Senegal are brothers. Malians and Senegalese, they are brothers. So you shouldn't be surprised when you see that type of character in Sonko. And a lot of people were calling it uncivilized and all of that. But when you hear the word you are uncivilized and all of that, this is where it leads us to. All right. Now, here's where everything got insane. You see, 4 days after being fired, Sonko became the Speaker of the National Assembly. And that is, to me, as of now, the most powerful position in Senegal. Because I'm telling you, you will soon know why this position is almost the #1 position in Senegal right now as we speak. Not because of the constitutional amendment, but because of the power you have to have occupied that position in the first place. Now, according to the information we have, after I became, the Speaker of the House, a lot of people were confused about what was going to happen to Diomaye Faye because he fired Sonko and Sonko became, the Speaker of the House, and, now he controls the legislative branch of the government and he has majority. 130 parliamentary members were PASTEF members. All right. But things are about to change because the new constitutional amendment has really, really crashed the backbone of President Bassirou Diomaye Faye. So let me spell this out for you. This man, who was just fired as Prime Minister, now runs the parliament that oversees the president who fires him. So you get the clinical picture here. And he's about to use that power, and he has just used it. Now, the way he used the power is what is now coming under criticism. But ladies and gentlemen, you will be the one to judge if he just used the power the right way or not. Because on the 30th of June, 2026, Sonko's PASTEF party pushed through a constitutional reform bill. All right? And in this reform bill, it passes overwhelmingly. All right? Here's exactly what he did. Number one, the president, that is Bassirou Diomaye Faye, can no longer lead a political party in Senegal. Through the period of his rulership as a president, Faye is technically a PASTEF member, but Sonko bill has made it illegal for him to be the party leader. Do you know what that means? Now, that means if Faye wants to run for re-election, he has to build a new political party from the scratch without the party that got him elected. That is what the first constitutional reform means. All right? Now, the second constitutional reform, the president must consult the prime minister to draft government program. Now, what's the meaning of that? That means Diomaye Faye, who is the president, cannot govern without getting approval from the office of Sonko. All right? He cannot, because the prime minister has to get the approval of the house. So the president cannot make any decision without consulting the prime minister. And the prime minister would still consult Sonko. So it all goes back to the man. That's Ousmane Sonko. Now the third, the parliament must be automatically informed of all natural resources investment agreement. That's where Sonko broke the camel's back. All right? The parliament must be automatically informed of all natural resources investment agreement, including oil, gas, mineral, gold. Nothing happens without parliamentary oversight, meaning Sonko's oversight. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what that means. Bassirou can no longer take any decision without consulting Sonko. That means France can no longer have access. Sonko will join the big three one day. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You make a lot of sense. He will join the big three, absolutely. This means that and this is what worries France. You see, I think Sonko is one of the smartest elements in West African geopolitics. I mean, Sonko is the rebirth of some of the best leaders in the history of Senegal. All right, like Sekou Touré. Sonko is a at that time Senegambia to Guinea, they were still operating as one unit at the time. Now, because France wanted to push Sonko out of his position, just so that they can work directly with Diomaye Faye and all the bad decisions can be made, like we have in most West African countries. But now they succeeded in pushing him out of that prime minister position. But guess what happened? This is Sonko now in a position that is even more powerful than the position of the president. Because just look at everything. Is he not more powerful than Bassirou right now? Bassirou is helpless right now as we are speaking. So, ladies and gentlemen, that means Emmanuel Macron, if they want to deal with the resources of Senegal right now, Emmanuel Macron will have to, rendezvous with Ousmane Sonko. And you know what time is about to be. And I believe the people that are protesting, we have them in every country. We have those type of elements we have them in Ghana, we have them in Nigeria. In Ghana, they are the ones of Akufo-Addo. You have them in every country. They are always standing in the position that will make the people suffer. So don't let it surprise you that some people protested. The question is how many protested and how long did that protest last? If you use a drone to cover the landscape of where the protest took place, how many? Everybody has their loyalists. But whose interest? Is it the interest of the people, or are they protesting for their own stomach? That is the question we need to ask. Now, we shouldn't be surprised that this is going on, because the bigger we get in life, the more our egos could collide. I think that is what is going on between Sonko and, Faye. So, Bassirou Diomaye Faye allowed a lot of people to lie to him. They inflated his capability beyond what he was. Because even if you look at when he actually traveled to the United States and he was talking to Donald Trump, if you look at what happened in that conversation, you will know. You will know. Donald Trump literally called him a little boy or whatever like that. So, and it's showing in the way he's pushing Senegal back and forth. And now Sonko is saying Senegal would not be destroyed before my watch. Now, the fourth rule for the constitutional reform: Parliament can now question anybody. Parliament can now question anyone, including magistrates who were previously exempted. A judicial independence. Sonko's parliament now has a window into the court. Meaning if any judge from anywhere just makes certain decision, the parliament can question that judge. This is serious. A lot of people want to call it, they want to say this is anti-democratic, but this is how democracy is supposed to be. In Nigeria, the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary, they are all in one basket. In Senegal, we are seeing the real democracy, where the president cannot just, hey, you, oh yeah, I have made this decision, pass it. And it's, no. This is real democracy. This is how it's supposed to be. When the president is moving in a direction that can undermine the national interest, there should be people that can say no. Africa is recalibrating, what was sold to us. And let's hope we can get the good result out of this. Now, the Fifth Amendment, which says that a new constitutional court with 9 members will replace the old 7-member constitutional court. That means they are reshuffling the deck. Sonko is trying to reform Senegal. Because if you look at up until now, oh, Mr. Nelson, thank you so much for the donation. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Now, the 6th amendment to the Constitution. Mr. Nelson, thank you so much. I repeat. Now, the president is barred from signing certain official acts during the transitional period between an election and inauguration. Now, what it means is this. If Sonko is about to leave power, let's even say he's going to contest for the next election, he cannot sign any long-term agreement with anybody because he's about to go. So this is, a lot of people are saying that, you know, Sonko is undermining Diomaye Faye. It's not. Bassirou cannot sign any long-term deal with anybody that will undermine the interest of the Senegalese people. Now, when you look at the statement carefully, Bassirou Diomaye Faye can sign some deals if it is in the interest of Senegal. If it is not in the interest of Senegal, he cannot sign it. No long-term agreement. Don't do it. Don't destroy this place. In fact, matter of fact, to be honest with you, I want Sonko to become, he should not be the president again. Sonko should just continue to be the Speaker of the House of Parliament. This is what I want in Senegal. You see, when he left, you see, Sonko said something. When he was removed as the Prime Minister, he said he won't be competing. He said PASTEF will not negate the position of Diomaye Faye in the coming election. He said if you still want to vote, if you still want to contest as the president, you can contest as the president. He said we will help you. But ladies and gentlemen, are they not helping him now? Because the billion-dollar question is, who are they working for? Are they working for France? Are they working for the ego of Bassirou Diomaye Faye? Or are they working for the Senegalese people? When you look at all these reforms now, when you look at all these reforms that have been stated, which of them is so bad that is going to destroy the future of the Senegalese people? None. So the Western media want to frame this as a political tussle for power and control between two friends. But no, this is a battle for the future of the Senegalese people. And I know some people will protest because, you know, when everything is going upside down, this is where some people make their own money. Some people's economy is related directly proportional to war, biological weapon, whatever. That is where they thrive. So when you hear that some people protested, it is expected. Ladies and gentlemen. So now, according to information, Bassirou Diomaye Faye will not be able to sign any long-term deal. So even if France have him in their pockets, they have nothing in their pockets. But he's still the president. He can still make some decision, actually. Now, you see, a lot of people said that this is good governance on paper. You know the people spreading this narrative, right? Because it's actually good governance on paper. There's a parliamentary oversight of natural resources. You cannot do anything without, you cannot sign any agreement with anybody without the house knowing about it. It is not like in my country. I can show you some videos now where you have people going to mine lithium, Chinese, and some other people from Ecuador, from Colombia. They are mining lithium in the old Oyo National Park. They are mining gold. We have their drone footage now. But where did they sign? Where was the deal signed? Who did they sign the deal with? We don't know. So Sonko is saying that nothing will be done in the shadows anymore. You need to be transparent. The people need to know what is going on. Senegal's future is about to change. You know, when Sonko was removed from the prime minister position, everyone thought it was over. But ladies and gentlemen, I won't lie to you, the party just got started. Just be honest, the party just started. Now, you see, context is everything. And the context here is that these reforms are being pushed by a man who have just been humiliated by the president, who now controls the parliament, and who is openly using that power to neuter the man who fired him. But that is not true. Now, this is governance reform. This is a political, let me say this is a geopolitical change to the Senegalese people. This is a geopolitical change. We wish a man can emerge from Kenya that can make this decision, but I don't think so. I don't think Mudavadi is in the pocket. Everybody is in the pocket. They are working for one man, and that's Ruto. But Senegal is telling everybody that we are not. So this is a revolution in a democracy. This is a revolution in a constitutional democracy. That is what we have in Senegal right now. Now, opposition parliamentary member Abdul Umdo takes the podium. He's trying to make a motion to suspend. Now, listen, the motion he was pushing was to suspend the proceeding on this constitutional reform. And Sonko orders him to step down. I told you this is a revolution in the democracy in Senegal. So after he told Umbo to step down, he refused. And that was why they brought in the gendarmes to remove him. They brought in the police to remove him from the house. Now, a lot of people said, "Oh, this is wrong. This is supposed to be a democracy and all of that." It happened in Nigeria. What happened? Nobody this thing happens in Nigeria very, very well. Nobody speaks about it because Nigeria is in the pocket of certain people. Every Nigerian on this platform knows what I'm saying. If you are a parliamentary member and you make certain motion that is not in line with some people, they will remove you. Nothing will happen. But if it's anti-imperial, oh, it's not right. You are trying to violate human rights and freedom of speech and all of that. No, they are not doing that in Senegal. They are not doing that in Senegal. So, according to information, they said the gendarme physically, they dragged the parliamentary member away from the podium in a room full of lawmakers on live television. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't want to hear all of that. As long as the decision that was made was in the interest of the Senegalese people. And don't forget one thing. It was one parliamentary member that have been mentioned. It is not multiple. One man. So if several individuals are making good decisions in the interest of the people, and you, one or two, you are saying something that is against what will benefit the people, you should go and check yourself. That's not humiliation. That is a reform. He was reformed by Sonko, whichever way they want to see it. Now, the opposition walked out of the parliamentary building and he called it a dictatorship. He said Sonko is being a dictator. How can a parliamentary speaker be a dictator when you have a president in a country? Sonko is not a dictator, ladies and gentlemen. So, I just want to read what they said when they got outside the building. They said the objective has been achieved. That the point was to show the world that what is happening at the National Assembly is a dictatorship and an abuse of power. Police were deployed to evacuate a parliamentary member who was merely exercising a single right, the right to speak. Ladies and gentlemen, you know, let me tell you this. Everybody has the right to speak, all right? They allowed him to speak. He said they should suspend the ruling, the constitutional amendment. Now, you are one person. You are just one. Out of how many parliamentary members? You are saying that they should suspend out of 165 parliamentary members. And there was an overwhelming majority that voted for the amendment. And you said they should suspend it. They said they were not going to suspend it. You now started constituting nuisance. And they told the police to remove you. Have they violated your right? There are ways to do things in places like that. So we will not let anybody bamboozle us and try to teach us as if because they imported democracy to Africa, so we need to. It is when they say it's correct that it is correct. When they say it's wrong, it's no. We are civilized people by ourselves. What he did right there is wrong. So they were protesting. They were saying Ousmane Sonko is a dictator and all of that. But ladies and gentlemen, let's be honest with ourselves. Ousmane Sonko did the right thing. But Diomaye Faye has now made a referendum. He has not called for a referendum, and that has its own counterpunch. According to the information we have, President Bassirou Diomaye Faye has announced that he's taking this to a national referendum. He said, "You want to strip my power? Let the people decide." According to people, they said this was a smart move. They said that politically to take the power out of the hands of Ousmane Sonko. But here's the problem, all right? This is a constitutional reform that was moved by multiple parliamentary members. If Senegal is still practicing a constitutional democracy, ladies and gentlemen, there is nothing Bassirou Diomaye Faye can do. There is nothing he can do. You see, Sonko has already fired back. All right? Sonko questioned whether Faye even has the constitutional authority to call for a referendum on this matter. According to information, he said reforms were validly adopted by a parliamentary majority, and Faye has no right to override the decision of the parliament. So now you have a constitutional standoff. The president said one thing, the speaker said another thing. No one knows who actually has the final say. And the streets are filled with tear gas and anger. You know, people are protesting. But let me just reduce the frame for you. People are not protesting. Certain people are protesting. Those are the people that are beneficiaries of the president, Bassirou Diomaye Faye. But you know why majority are not protesting? Because majority are with the position of Ousmane Sonko. This is the clear picture of what is going on. So now that there is a constitutional standoff, ladies and gentlemen, in my own opinion, I think the fact that Senegal still runs a constitutional democracy, it means that the position of Ousmane Sonko stands. Now, you see, for me, I will not lie to you. I think I'm solidly behind Ousmane Sonko. The way Bassirou Diomaye Faye has been traveling to Paris and coming back is unbearable at this point. And the moves he has been making, Bassirou Diomaye Faye is moving in a direction where, it needs to be helped. Sometimes you need to be helped. Somebody needs to come to your rescue. Somebody needs to save you from yourself. If that's the right thing to say, I stand to be corrected. Because recently, one of the decision that was passed by Diomaye Faye was to say that now it is compulsory for everybody in Senegal to pass Quran. Quran will now be a course in Senegal. What of the Senegalese that are Christians? What of the Senegalese that are traditionalists? Even the Senegalese that are Muslims, they are not passing courses that will make them innovate great capabilities, equipment that can be game-changing for Senegal. You want them to go and pass a 3-unit course, a core course in Senegal. They should go and put the whole Quran in their head. Some people were trying to brainwash me. They said it's called IRS, Islamic IRK, Islamic studies that we did in our secondary school. No, at university level, at secondary school level. That's what Bassirou Diomaye Faye is trying to do. So, ladies and gentlemen, I love the move by the president of the parliament, Ousmane Sonko. You know, a lot of people were sad when he was removed from the prime minister position. I think when he was the prime minister, he wasn't powerful at all because he wasn't able to influence the bad decisions that was being taken by the president. Now Senegal is safe. In my opinion, whatever relationship that France wants to have with Bassirou, they can go ahead. As long as Sonko is the head of parliament, and you have to every agreement that the country should have when it comes to their resources, it will have to go through the table of Sonko. I think Senegal is safe. So, ladies and gentlemen, I know that out there's a lot of individuals making different narratives. If you go and check all the Western media platforms, the way they frame this particular issue that is going on in Senegal, in fact, they said Senegal is collapsing. That's what they said. Ladies and gentlemen, when it does not fit their interest and their geopolitical demand, they will tell you that your country is about to fall. But ladies and gentlemen, what Senegal is going through right now is a constitutional reform that will now change and transform the future of the Senegalese people. This is my take and this is my submission on this particular matter. Tomorrow, I am going to be bringing you a comprehensive report on what Burkina Faso have just achieved. Yesterday, I'm going to quote, according to Western OSINT's report, Burkina Faso neutralized over 200 JNIM. I have posted it on our Telegram channel. 200. I posted a video on our second channel. That is the AMW72. That's our new YouTube channel. I'll drop the link in the comments if you want to subscribe to the channel. Now, on that channel, if you listen to the video, Traore said there are no Russian forces in Burkina Faso. I hope you get. He said it by himself. So for those that said Russian forces, no, they are not in Burkina Faso. These are the statements of the president. Burkina Faso just took out 200 JNIM. This is not like, I'm not talking about the overall documented KIA in a day, or in a week, or in a month. In a single battle, the jihadists were the ones that brought the fight to them, and 200 fell. Most of them fell inside the trenches. The trenches that surrounded the Komandjari military base. That's Gayeri in the Komandjari province. Now, after this happened, today again, in another location, Burkina Faso have neutralized above 30 JNIM again. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think? The narrative is changing. Either they like it or not, the narrative is changing. And I'm very, very proud of Burkina Faso because Burkina Faso is finding an indigenous solution to the problem that was imposed on them by external forces. So, ladies and gentlemen, at this point, representing the Android community, it's your boy 72 Android, signing out, as I said, but before I go, I really appreciate your time. Thank you, and God bless you. And to everybody that donated, Mr. Nelson, Badazan, I can't remember the name of that third person. Like everybody that actually donated, I will check up the name in the comments, actually. Everybody that donated in the super chat, I really, really want to appreciate you. You're the ones that keep us going on this platform. And I see everyone else. I see everyone else. As long as you comment in this community, you leave a comment in our comments, I'm able to notice you. So I see you. Roxy Angel, everyone, I see you. I see you. Oh, Michael, Willie, I see you. I know you. You are very, very, you are very, very should I say constant or what should I say? You are always around on our platform, so I really, really want to say thank you. Everybody that is commenting right now, I always see your comments, and I really, really, I'm aware of the name. So thank you, and God bless you. I'll see you tomorrow.